Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Two Hands in a Radio. Today's Two Hands in a Big Radio. Long-time supporter of the channel, probably one of the first supporters of the channel, Chuck in St. Louis, sent me this. I'll call it a housewarming gift. Oh man, I don't even know where to start with this. It is the Spirit of St. Louis World Band receiver. I don't have a lot of information about the Spirit of St. Louis collection, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that looks like the old communication gear of old. And I don't know, I've seen telephones and stuff and all kind of different briefcase radios and just different stuff. I've not seen another World Band receiver, but there is a whole line of stuff out there. And I hope Chuck can jump in and maybe share some of the history of the Spirit of St. Louis collection. I couldn't find much online, really. But anyway, Chuck was super generous with this. And as always, really appreciate it. Appreciate your support, Chuck, and your friendship that we've developed over the year, over a year now. And here we go. Very much akin to the Electro Brand 2971, something like that. The Radio Shack SW100. Other receivers in this era. I'm gonna guess in the 80s or the 90s. There again, I'm just taking a sophisticated guess. You all know what I mean. And my word, it's absolutely, he said it was pristine. It is like new. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's just take a look at it. Let's get into this thing. I took off the tags. There was tags on the antenna and tags on the AM antenna up there that you don't pick it up by this, and the antenna can be broken. And I hope my arms are long enough to reach all this, because I got to get it away from the camera a bit so we can see it. But very, what caught my eye before we dive in is the knobs. All look like the real vintage retro Hammerland Hallicrafters Collins knobs of the 30s and 40s and like that. Very neat, and that just jumped out at me, and I said, ooh, this is going to be fun. Metal grill for the people that like metal grills. Automatic something, AFC. If we have a weak station, we can flip that on and it'll lock it in a little better. Automatic frequency control, automatic fine tuning control. AFC is all I know it by. I am horrible with acronyms. I've always been horrible with acronyms. SOS, scoot over some. That's the only thing I remember. That's it. Anyway, AFC. It does have a PA system. We could hook a microphone up to it and turn this into a PA, which would be kind of cool. We'll leave it on radio for today. On-off switch, volume knob, tone knob. Down here we do have the mic input that I talked about. Antenna input here. He had suggested that I hook a external antenna up to it. And it's packed away someplace, and I can't find it. I was going to bring my reel antenna out and reel it up and plug it in, and it's packed somewhere. The joys of moving just throw me to no end. I'm too old to move. Earphone jack, metal grill. Did I already say it's about 12 and a half, 7.5, 4 inches thick? It's a huge radio. Then we have the tuning knob. There's that old ornate looking vintage throwback kind of knob. Very smooth for an analog dial. Then we even have a fine tuning control that we can get in and tune things in even closer. And then we have our band selector switch here. We'll probably start off at AM and work our way around. We have AM, Citizens Band, CB, shortwave 1 and 2, FM airband, TV2 VHF weather, and TV1. Probably not going to get much on the TV stations, but you never know. I read someplace that there are people now that are starting to broadcast on the TV 1 and 2 stations, on the channels. But anyway, I digress. Nice little grab handles here. And then, of course, we've got a tag here that tells us everything, a serial number and reference model, yeah. And there again, I really don't even have a model number, I don't think. But you can zoom in and pause on all that. Frequency ranges, AM, FM, pretty standard stuff. Shortwave 1 is, looks like 4 to 6 megahertz. Shortwave 2 is 7 to 12. All that is in one big long band. It's actually in 2 bands, but you're rolling along here, and then you drop down and keep right on going. Air band, 108 to 135. VHF and weather, 145 to 175. CB is CB. TV 1 and 2. And has 4 D batteries in it. Does have a plug-in for AC. And our AC-DC switch, AC-DC, there we go. And the same badge that we saw before is on this side as well. Looks like a faux leather case, which is really, really nice. And then the top we have our big antenna, and we also have a ferrite bar antenna that we can rotate and dial our AM stations in a little better. Just for the sake of my arms, I probably will not be rotating it very much. I know that's probably not the best thing to do in life. You should, every minute turn of the dial, you should be spinning your antenna and radio around vigorously for the best reception, and I understand that. But I also try to keep the videos down around 30 minutes or so. So we can't do everything. And we have a real live S-meter. That's just cool. Well, not an S-meter, tuning meter, and battery gauge. So that's very cool. Guys, let's dive into this thing. It's just amazing. Let me put the antenna up right now. Actually, no, let's put it up. Let's see what it can do. I've got my long wire out here, rotatable antenna. Not going to use that for this adventure. I didn't measure that thing. It's probably 34 inches or more. Huge antenna. I got the turntable out for this thing. I think we're about ready to rock. Should be set on AM, and it's, oh, 5:45 or so in the evening. Probably not going to get the best of everything, but for a look at the radio, why? This is gonna be as good as we can get right now, and I'm looking forward to tonight and flipping the switches and see what it can do. I think that it's going to be really, really super. There's on, and we've got our tone control. I like it a little higher just so I can hear better. And yeah, we need a little cleaner on that, and that's okay. I have no idea where we're at, but we're somewhere. I don't know when the fine tuning comes into play, but we can fiddle around with it. I do like to fiddle. We can turn things around, see what happens. Well, actually, I can do this too. Probably even easier is use the turntable. Should be coming up on 700 shortly. Be interested to see if it picks that up. There you go. We've had a really bad time.
Joey Barlow, just with the
really bad time of trying to get 700 in recently. It's in Cincinnati, not that far away, but
I think he got hit with a pitch 26 times that year or so.
They've really been weak. And this just pulled it in with no problem at all. Our local station should be coming up shortly. Not now.
A legal, paralegal person.
My goodness. This is all before nighttime.
There's some distance, so to say, so to speak. But at the end of the day, these are the leadership. These are folks that case.
Correction.
There's our
system.
local station.
They have to. Hard drives are stunningly unreliable. Really, cosmic rays are a tiny factor in the reliability.
Hard drives are unreliable. In 35 years in the IT world, I've only seen 2 hard drives that failed. Anyway, I digress.
Can't hold a bit.
It is working for his teammate Will Power. Rossi
That's probably 1070, I suppose, Indianapolis. This thing's amazing on medium wave.
The strain of finding the right sound can be difficult. You have to call in, apply it.
Seattle. Not the. Hey,
There's 1390 out of Seymour. I do have the box, and all the box and packing and everything's absolutely gorgeous. But for the way I filmed this, there was no way I would struggle with this box and try to get this out and all that. So the box is just in the truck. I didn't think it was going to work. So I apologize about that. And probably a lot of people are saying, yay, he didn't unbox anything this time. Let's go back through the CB now. See, and here again, it's dependent on anybody being out there. Coming up on 19, we're at the second line there. I hear very, very little stuff on CB. There's somebody very faint. Yeah, I didn't think there would be much. Okay, well, let's go to shortwave 1 and 2. Shortwave 1 and 2, if you look hard enough and play along, it goes along and then drops down a line to pick up 7 through 12. So it's kind of a continuous thing. Of course, this time of night, probably around 9 megahertz or so, 7 to 9 to 11. Probably be the most stuff that we get. Or something. Now this doesn't have single sideband, so we may pick up that and not be able to really understand it. Solar flux index of 66. There's something there very weak. Oh. There we go. See how the fine tuning works now? I can really slow that wheel down and get dialed in on it.
Consider
Okay. Not too bad. Let's go back on down just for giggles. I turned the AFC on just to see if I could hear anything. Let's try 5 megahertz. Nah, I don't hear anything there. And that's okay. We'll turn the volume down because we'll get into FM and the airband. FM airband does the same thing. It goes along the FM frequency and then drops down one line and takes off with the airband frequencies. As long as we have airplanes in the air, we may hear something. We won't dally around too much in the FM land. But you can see how little volume I have applied. My goodness. This is amazing.
Certificate that you brought in here.
That was, notch number 2 or so.
Working with is not
is plenty loud.
All right, the only people that get upset.
Stations. I wouldn't do it on WhatsApp.
Our local station on FM.
Doesn't make any less of a Christian or in any less.
/home services.
Okay, now let's move on. We're going to get into the airband now. About 118 is ours. There again, they gotta say something to find it. Huh, I guess I got it. Or close or something. I'm not all bad. Let's go on up and see if we can get to Indianapolis. Alrighty. The vultures are all over the place today. Here's something.
Crocodile Day 33, flight level 310.
Oh, that looks, I don't know what that is. It's an airport. That's probably Indianapolis. Maybe. Wow. Or maybe that is. Oh, hell, who knows? Who knows? God, this is amazing. What an amazing radio. Chuck, now I'm talking to you, Chuck. What do you think? To me, this appears miles ahead of the Radio Shack SW100. Again, I'm living back, memory. But my gosh, this thing's amazing. Anyway, I digress.
November 24 Alpha Golf contact. Christmas for 21.05 today.
Okay, let's keep moving. My goodness, that did great. Let's see, we'll go. Let's go into TV2 VHF and weather. And it kind of jumps all over the place a little bit. We got TV over here. VHF is here 145. Then the weather comes right in the middle of all of it, and it's marked. And just kind of follow the bouncing ball, and it's very, very neat.
The 8 to 14 day outlook. outlook for Monday, August 27th through Sunday, September 2nd. Calls for both
There's our
temperatures
weather.
and precipitation to be above normal.
Good. So that was our weather. And then we get into TV, but you're going to get some of it's going to 175, and we've got I don't know, I think you get some FM bleed over in all this. Different FM stations bleed over into it, I think. And that's normal. So we've been there. TV1. There again, we're going to have FM on this too. So we'll just quickly roll through it. Sounds like we got a lot of stuff, but really we're just picking up FM broadcast. And that's a tour of it. Man, how neat. The one thing that I did not do, if I can get it down here, let's just try this. Just for giggles, you know, I kind of say I don't ever do this, and then I turn around and I break my own rules because I kind of write the rules so I can do what I want. Let's hook up a long wire to shortwave, and let's just see what happens. Maybe nothing at all. Shortwave 1, 2. There's something there. Amateur radio there. Oh no! VORW. The Sunday broadcast. Yeah! The best radio program on shortwave. The voice of the report of the week. Check him out. YouTube channel. Shortwave radio broadcast. Amazing. Super talented.
I can't believe it. It feels like it's,
That is awesome.
I'm sure we've established that at this point, that either cars by or rickshaw.
All right, we'll move on. That little bit of wire helped.
And acknowledge every email you sent.
We may get 10 megahertz on this one. I don't hear it. Oh. No, I don't hear it. Of course, the stations we heard a little bit ago at 6 o'clock, it's probably has changed and they've gone off, and now it's a whole other thing. I wonder if that long wire does anything for the air bands.
And then we're on my take-up flight 180, please.
How cool is that? Man, this thing's outrageous. Okay, I'll quit now. What a fantastic radio. Oh my goodness. Chuck, thank you so much. You're just amazing. That's all there is to it. And everybody light up the comment section and thank Chuck for sharing this with us and giving me the ability to show it to everybody and keep the channel going, you know, and really appreciate it. The Spirit of St. Louis World Band receiver. Boy, it did not disappoint, that's for sure. I'm really, really anxious to see how it does 10, 11 o'clock at night. I just don't have any way to videotape that right now. Videotape, boy, I dated myself on that. I don't have any way to do a video of it inside at night. That's all packed away right now, and someday we'll get it all figured out, I hope, before winter time, or we're going to be in a real mess. Anyway, I digress again. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, shortwave is not for you. That's all there is to it. My goodness, what a fantastic radio. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. Share this with anybody. Maybe you've got a family member that is into the Spirit of St. Louis collection of stuff, and maybe they'd like to see this video. I don't know, but you can share it. And the most important part, if you want to help the channel and keep the channel going, there's a link down in the description down there that you can click, and it'll take you to PayPal, and you can donate whatever you feel inclined to donate to the channel. All that money collected goes to buy radios to bring content to the channel and just keep things going. It's very, very much appreciated, whether it's $1, $5, $20, whatever. It all keeps the wheels going, and there's strength in numbers. And so with that, man, what a great radio. This is awesome. I hope you're inspired now to grab your shortwave radios and listen and see what's out there. It ain't dead yet, it's getting there, but it ain't dead yet. It's changing. Shortwave just changes. Everybody thinks things die when it changes. No, it's just changed, that's all. Not dead, just changed. And we have to learn to adapt to that change. We have to be thankful for what we got, and thankful for what stations are still out there and still chugging along. And yeah, it's awesome. All right, with that, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you at the next review.